And from DisneyInfinityCodes.com, and I am here with everyone's favorite villain, Darth Vader, who is a formidable character inside Disney Infinity 3.0 for Star Wars, hashtag join forces. And we're inside the toy box, and we're going to take a peek at Darth Vader's skill tree, as well as all of the special moves and abilities, because he's got a ton of them. So this is a really great character with a really fun and developed skill tree. So let's take a look. First off, with the health and defense, because he's a Jedi character, he's got a little bit more than just like, oh, the team player and the mid-air recovery and stuff like that. He's got some other really, really cool abilities. So let's take a peek. First off, we got force defenses. That kind of, like timed, defense combo if you carefully tap A when something's close range. But then you have the lightsaber deflect, which is when you're blocking. It will shoot the blasters back towards the enemy with increased damage when timed correctly. So when you see a blaster shot coming at you, if you tap A, it's gonna deflect that blaster shield right back at the blaster attack back at the person who did it with increased damage, which is awesome. It's phenomenal. So and then of course Dark Lord deflect. So automatically it does this whenever an enemy is shooting at you. Automatically Darth Vader is just going to be blocking all those attacks if he's facing the direction in which the blaster attack is coming, which is huge. That is so useful inside the playsets when you're playing as him. I mean, it kind of makes him invincible depending on which way he's facing, because it's automatic. It does it for you, which is awesome. His force ability is what's called the Hand of Vader, and it uses a force to push nearby opponents away with a pretty powerful blast. And you can upgrade that with 1, 2, 3 different forcing your hands, which is hold R to push opponents away with additional force. Purchasing the skill multiplies times increased by the effectiveness. So there are 3 of these, and you can buy all 3, which we did. And then there's some meter upgrades and some the speedy meter, which is on everyone's special ability. But for any Jedi characters, they're called force abilities, not special abilities. So that's a bit of a distinguishing factor between force and non-force characters inside 3.0. His melee skills, he just kind of uses his lightsaber to kind of smack some stuff around. Here is where you will unlock his force jump. That's what they call it for any Jedi user, any force users. And then he's got breaking defenses level 1, and this is a carefully timed combo with X taps. And then he's got breaking defenses level 2, which again is another carefully timed combo with X taps. And then we got the power disc upgrades, of course, and the combat. The combat damage increase upgrades, which are, of course, very useful if melee is where you're going, or if you are a very big fan of like the power disc and the special attacks, that kind of stuff. And now we've got his ranged attack, which is he tosses his lightsaber, and he gets some pretty decent distance on it, and it does some pretty really good damage. And so you come over here, and what's really awesome is that you get a little bit of force powers with his instead of a ranged attack, they're calling it what's called the force finisher. And so this is where you kind of get to upgrade and kind of get some really awesome force moves. So here we've got force choke, which you can unlock. You essentially, using your Y, at least it is for me on the Wii, you use that, and it will grab an enemy and force choke them, and then you can toss them, using the left control stick, and this increases the damage. And then there are 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. So this allows you to recharge quicker, recharge up the force choke. And then this increases again the damage caused, and increases the damage caused. So there you go. And let's take a look at the quick character overview. Darth Vader is considered a super jumper because of his force jump, extraordinary strength. He is considered a villain. He's force adept, so he can use the force, and he is a lightsaber master. He's a lightsaber user. So let's take a peek at some of these awesome moves with Darth Vader. So what I always like to do is pull up the block, and so first, and so this is what he looks like when he's blocking. He just pulls that saber up and then automatically deflects any shots that come at him, which is great. You know, with a carefully timed block tap, he, you know, will deflect anything that comes at him. And if you buy that one that does it automatically, well, then you don't have to worry about it. Here is a peek at his if you just tap X, you know, that's his, and then there's a few different combos you can do. So if you double tap X and then hit at the right moment, and it might be kind of hard to see, but the saber has a little bit of a shine, and it kind of like sparkles a little bit. When you see that sparkle, that's when you're supposed to tap X again. And then there's a 4X combo, and so we'll take a peek at that. So tap X, tap X, tap X, tap X, boom. And so there are little sparkles there on each of the saber moves every time you're supposed to tap X. That might be hard to see, but you know, when you're playing, there's also a sound cue that goes along with it. But once you pick up the rhythm, it's pretty easy to get. Here's his ground pound, and then here's his dodge, and then he does have that force grab ability, which is pretty handy. And then here's his ranged attack, where he tosses that lightsaber. And let's grab a few enemies and drop them in here so we can get a good idea of Darth Vader's attack abilities. And let's take a look at his special attack now. So that's great. So it allows you to really charge it up and really get a really great attack radius there. So let's take a look at it from a little bit zoomed back. Let me just refill up the meter here with some of these. And of course, Vader does not run. You can see that he is just doing a paced walk. And there is his block breaker. So he kind of like launches enemies with it. And then while he's up there, he can then juggle the enemy while hovering in the air. There you can get a kind of a good view of that sparkle that triggers when he activates that combo. He kind of gets a little glowing and red there. But let's take a look at that special again. Nice up and close, and then get a good bird's eye view of it. Kind of great. So there you go, guys. As always, thanks for watching, and visit us at